Assalamu alaikum. I'm Yasir Amir, and you're watching Yasify. Now, if you're a student and you've got this big dream of becoming a pilot, well, this explainer is made exactly for you. Today, we're going to make it absolutely crystal clear how you can become a commercial pilot right here in Pakistan in 2026, step by step. I'm going to give you the complete roadmap. But we're also framing this whole journey around the single biggest obstacle you are going to face. Spoiler alert, it's not the exams, and it's not even the massive cost. It's your own hesitation.
To really get what I mean, let me share this kind of chilling concept from the Blackwood Forest story. In it, the main character Michael runs into an exact duplicate of himself, just a darker, colder version. And when Michael asks what it is, the duplicate just says, "I'm what remained when you hesitated." Wow, right? I mean, that just brilliantly captures how self-doubt and fear can literally replace our true ambitions. Every single time you delay your dreams because they just seem too hard, well, a version of you that simply gives up takes over. So I've got to ask you, is hesitation going to stop your dream of flying? Do you actually have the passion to outthink the massive financial and logistical hurdles waiting for you? Because let me tell you, becoming a pilot in Pakistan right now, it's not just some training program. It is a rigorous, real-world selection process designed to test who really wants it. All right, let's dive right in and see exactly what it takes to survive this whole shebang.
Step by step, the pilot licenses.
Okay, so to outthink the system, you first got to understand the progression. The journey breaks down into 3 absolutely crucial steps. First up, you get your SPL. That's your student pilot license. Think of this as your basic permit to fly the aircraft. It's where your journey officially kicks off. Then, after you log your first 50 hours up in the sky, you earn your PPL, the private pilot license. But the ultimate goal, the final boss, if you want to fly professionally and really follow that passion, is step 3, the CPL, or commercial pilot license. This one requires a grand total of 200 flying hours, and realistically, it usually takes about 2 years from the day that SPL is issued.
Criteria and conditioning.
Now, before you can even touch the yoke of an airplane, you've got to meet some pretty strict baseline criteria just to get your foot in the door. First off, you must be at least 18 years old and have a valid CNIC. On the education front, you need an intermediate qualification or its equivalent. We're talking FA, FSC, pre-medical or pre-engineering, ICS, or ICOM. And hey, while you can technically jump in with different backgrounds, having a really solid foundation in science subjects, specifically math and physics, is going to be your absolute best weapon when it's time to tackle those theoretical exams.
Next up is the physical conditioning, and this actually splits into 2 different paths. If you're just looking to fly for fun, like a hobbyist, you only need what's called a Class 2 medical to get that private pilot license. But if you're aiming for a professional career and you want that commercial pilot license, you absolutely have to pass the much more rigorous Class 1 medical.
And guys, when I say rigorous, I really mean it. You're going to be put through around 20 different medical evaluations. We're talking an ECG, audiometry, psychiatric evaluations, and some incredibly strict drug profiles. But wait, here's a super reassuring fact for a lot of you out there. While 6/6 vision is strictly required, wearing glasses is perfectly fine. No way around it. As long as your vision corrects to 6/6 with those glasses, you are totally good to go. You literally just need to keep a spare pair with you in the cockpit.
And finally, before anybody hands you that SPL, you've got to clear some intense security verifications. This means getting the green light from the Special Branch, the Intelligence Bureau, and your local police station. Once all of that, the education, the medical, the security checks, is totally clear, boom, your journey officially begins.
Surviving the observation zone, EASA exams.
So getting your medical clearance is really just the starting line. Now you've got to survive the theoretical challenges. These exams are going to test your intellect, kind of like that duplicate from the Blackwood story, analyzing your every single move. And there's been a massive shift in Pakistan lately. It used to be that the local civil aviation authority handled these exams, but actually, scratch that. They've now been entirely replaced by EASA exams. That stands for the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. These are top-tier, international standard exams, and they're currently being conducted right here in cities like Islamabad and Karachi.
You have to conquer 13 highly complex subjects. We're talking air law, meteorology, human performance, radio navigation, mass and balance, all of it. And here is exactly where the pressure starts to mount. Every single attempt matters. Why? Because each exam costs between 103 and 105 British pounds. Ouch, right? Failing and having to retake these doesn't just eat up your time, it takes a massive bite out of your budget. So let's look at how this builds into the absolute biggest challenge of all.
The ultimate test, financial investment.
This right here is the climax of the whole selection process. It's the moment where the walls metaphorically start vibrating and a lot of candidates just hesitate. Let's break down the harsh reality of these costs. Just your initial admission to a flying school, that's going to run you about 400,000 to 500,000 Pakistani rupees. Clearing all 13 of those EASA exams? Figure roughly 500,000 to 700,000 rupees, and that's assuming you pass them all on the first try. Then comes the actual flying. Thanks to international fuel prices and crazy inflation, logging hours in a little Cessna 152 or 172 is currently sitting at a staggering 45,000 to 55,000 rupees per hour.
So the really crucial point here is the final number. When you add all of it up, the 200 hours in the air, the exams, the admissions, the total estimated cost for a commercial pilot license in Pakistan in 2026 is hitting somewhere between 9 to 10 million Pakistani rupees. Yeah, it's a massive, massive number. And you just have to look that reality right in the eye without flinching.
But hold on, this brilliantly illustrates exactly why context matters. Before you let that 10 million number totally defeat you, let's put it into perspective. A private MBBS degree in Pakistan right now, that's going to cost you around 12 to 15 million rupees. So, compared to becoming a doctor privately, the pilot roadmap is actually less expensive. Plus, the return on investment is incredibly fast. Once you actually land an airline job, you can potentially recover that 9 to 10 million in just a year or two. It is absolutely a high-stakes but highly rewarding investment.
Post-CPL, the branching paths.
Now, once you finally secure that CPL, you aren't exactly at the finish line yet. Just like in that Blackwood story where every decision branches out, what you do after your CPL creates entirely new variations for your career trajectory. Because honestly, a CPL by itself isn't always enough to instantly grab one of those scarce airline jobs. You've got to make yourself competitive. You might need to invest in a multi-engine rating. A lot of pilots in Pakistan actually go for a flight instructor rating, which is great because it lets them get paid while building up those required flying hours. And ultimately, to sit in the cockpit of a massive commercial airliner, you're going to need a type rating for a specific aircraft, like an Airbus A320 or a Boeing 777. Every choice you make here refines your final result.
Looking back at this whole journey, the 13 international exams, the super strict medicals, that daunting 10 million rupee investment, it's pretty easy to see why some folks just throw in the towel. But I want you to remember those ominous words from the uniformed man in the Blackwood forest. This isn't just an impossible barrier. This is a very deliberate selection process. It's literally designed to filter out the people who only kind of want it, to find the ones who truly, desperately want it.
You don't fight a system like this. You outthink it. You plan out your finances. You study relentlessly for those EASA exams. And you absolutely refuse to let your own hesitation take your place. At the end of the day, the only thing that can truly stop you is you. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. When you're faced with the immense, life-changing challenge of becoming a commercial pilot in 2026, are you going to let the duplicate of your hesitation win, or will you step toward the light and take flight?